victim, it's me. And I want you to know there's no room in your extraordinary for victim. There's no room in your greatness for a victim mentality. You know why? Because, come on, Slay Queen, you've been through some things that people cannot even imagine. And yeah, I was the victim, but I'm not anymore. You know, there was a period in my life that someone harmed me. There was a period that somebody injured me, even to the point that they almost killed me by the actions that they caused. But because I'm here to tell the tale and tell you about the story, honey, I'm telling you that I'm a survivor. I'm a victor now, no longer a victim. You know, we come to a point that we have been victimized so much that we volunteer to be the victim. We have been victimized so much that it's willingly we come to be hurt. Willingly we come to be injured. Willingly we come to a place to be able to almost be to the point of death. I'm talking about mentally, physically, emotionally. What do you mean? Somebody trying to physically kill you, Candy? Yeah, it could be it could be physical abuse, or they could be trying to physically kill my soul, that create that despondency, low spirits, and the loss because of loss of hope. Somewhere they hurt me so bad, they made me lose hope in who I am and what was promised to me. Come on, Empress. That I became the victim. You know, I've been there. I know about that. But we've been kicked so many times. We've been pushed down. Hey, T. Dragon, welcome 4K. Hey, love. We've been pushed so long, and we've been hurt for so long that we feel like this is the norm. This is what we accept. I've been victimized. You know, step out of that victim mentality. Well, Candy, I've been victimized my whole life. Every time I deal with something that's coming before me or for me, it's always a struggle. I got to constantly deal with people trying to harm me. I can't trust no one. Every time I try to be open and every time I try to love, there goes somebody else using me again. There goes someone else not appreciating who I am and the things that I do for them. Come on, Kizzo, it becomes a negative standard, and it's the standard of our life. So that's why we walk around and say, victim, it's me. You know what I've been through. You know what I experienced before. We're not going to talk about everything's peaches and cream because it's easy for us to stop acting like the victim. But no, if you want to talk to me about stop acting like the victim, you got to recognize why I am acting the way I am. You got to recognize why I got this mentality in the first place. And you got to recognize who victimized me. Come on. Everybody wants us to be better, but did we face what got us here? You know, did we address the very thing that got me in this position? Come on, Russell. Come on, Dragon. Let's. That's the only way we can heal, because we gotta stand up and face some truths. It's so easy to say get it together, but what put me in this position? You know, a lot of times, let's get even more deep. A lot of times, the people that are telling us to get it together are the same people that put us there. Come on. I'm talking to you. You know, my mother's telling me to get it together, but at the age of 14, she was telling me I wouldn't amount to nothing. At the age of 14, she was saying that no one's ever gonna love me. Supreme, hey, love, but now we come to a place you want me to get it together. You got me here. Come on, Dragon, and we're not just pointing fingers now, my king and queens, because in order for us to get somewhere, we have to allow people to take us there. Yeah, I was 14. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, it was my mother's responsibility to guard me and protect me, and she didn't. But when we get of age, there has to be a time, my king and queens, that we stop playing this victim song, that we let go of the violin. There has to be a time and a place, my king and queens, that we decide that we need to grow, that we need to get better, because I don't deserve this. I don't deserve how I was hurt, how I was harmed, how I was injured. I don't deserve that. So I'm not going to take it anymore. But what we don't recognize is the more that we cry about what we've been through is the more that we attract that very same thing back in our life. I mean, come on, let's talk about it. The more we sit there and cry the victim, the more the ears of the victimizers are looking around and listening for your cry. That we wonder why, thank you, King, we wonder why we're getting into situation after situation and we're dealing with one thing after the next because we're talking about that's who we are. Come on, Epiphany. I have been victimized so long, it's who I am. I have been victimized so long, I wear an ID that says, hello, my name is victim. It's me. I've been abused physically. I've been abused mentally. I've been abused emotionally. I've been abused spiritually. It is me. And the predators find us. And it starts all over again. Come on, Candace. Speak that. Come on, Supreme. Come on, love. They use reverse psychology. Come on, Kizzo. It's the same ones that hurt us as the same ones that are telling us to get it together. Come on. Acting like it's you. When they're the ones 90% of what happened. Come on, the 90% of what happened is their fault. We can't just stay pointing fingers. I gotta keep it real with us. We gotta be accountable for something. Yeah, we didn't put our hands on them. Yeah, they put their hands on us. Yeah, this, yeah, that. But we got to take a little bit responsibility because we allowed it. We allowed it to happen. My mom will hurt me in my whole life. Right, Taylor? Come on. I know what you mean. Hey, boy. Top Cat. Hey, love. Come on, Kizzo. Come on, King. Let's talk about it. We've been victimized for so long. When it comes to the place that we can no longer be the victim, we still choose to. We come willingly, right, the Dom, elevated, hey. We come willingly to be the victim. And what I mean by when we don't have a choice and we're victimized, I'm talking about our childhood. I'm talking to the ones that was victimized when you had no control over it. I'm talking to my king and queens that was like me. Throughout your childhood, you dealt with molestation. Without your childhood, you dealt with being wrong. Throughout your childhood, you dealt with attempted suicide. Throughout your childhood, somebody mistreated you. Throughout your childhood, they taught you wrong. They showed you wrong. They did wrong to you. The ones that were supposed to protect you wasn't there. They didn't fulfill the task, the duty. That's what I'm talking about. I was victimized when I had no control over it. But now I know you was abused when you was younger, Candy. I know you dealt with this when you was younger, Candy. I know your history when you was a child. But now that you can make a decision, what is your decision now? Will you stand for who you are? Will you stand for what's right? You're crying that you was the victim as a child because you didn't deserve it. So now that you have a choice, why do you feel you deserve it now? Now that you have a choice to make decisions with relationships with people and how people treat you and the standards that you live in life, and you choose to live under your standard. You choose to take less than you deserve. What is your excuse now, honey? I know back then you didn't have a choice. I know it happened. I decided to be my voice I didn't have as a child. Let's talk about it, Queen. Come on, Lauren. I decided to grab the power that I didn't have access to when I was a child. Speak about it, Slay Queen. Come on now. Live to tell it, see. Come on, Kizzo. Right. Now that I can do something about it, I am. Determine my worth and I recognize it. Right. Yeah, we're crying about what happened to us because we didn't deserve it. Now that I'm the voice of that little girl that I once was. Come on, Slay Queen. I don't know if y'all seen All I Got, Hey Love, Monster. I don't know if you've seen Mary J. Blige's documentary, but it was awesome. She said, I'm still the voice for the little girl. I'm still the voice for when she made her album and she was caught up in drugs and all this stuff and she didn't want to live anymore. She said, I'm still the voice of the little girl that got victimized. You see that? That's what Slay Queen is talking about. Now that I found my power, I ain't gonna allow you to do it to me again. That part. Right. Mary J is everything. Because she's real. She's always been real. And I'm telling you right now, we didn't have control over the things. Shorty Bread, hey gorgeous. Mindful Mel, hey love, thank you love. Grand evening, Frosty. Come on, I didn't have control over it at that time, but now I do. So the more and more, you know, I was abused as a child. That violin that I'm talking about is that same violin. Oh, woe is me. Why me? Why did it happen to me? Who they did it to me? This and that. The violin of the story that you had when you was a child, you're still playing grown. The reason why we're still playing the victim and saying the victim is me for our past experiences is because we don't want to deal with the truth. The truth is my mother didn't love me like she could because she was hurt. And that's why I wasn't loved. And my mother doesn't have it all together because she's missing the self-love to have loved me the right way. And I don't have a perfect family. And I don't have a perfect childhood. But that doesn't make me that I'm not perfect. Because I am. I was created perfect in his image. Not that I do everything perfect, but I am perfect because of who my father is. I will no longer identify myself off of the decisions of the victim, the victimizer that has done to me. The more we play that violin, my king and queens, the more they win. But when we stand for ourselves and they have victimized, they cannot win anymore. The reason why they did what they did, Vega, the reason why they did what they did is because they want us to think lower than you better than the most. Come on now. They want us to think lower of ourselves. They want us not to believe in ourselves. They want to create despondency. They want to do all these things. And when they do it, then they're winning. But the more and more we play the violin, they still win. The more and more we play that violin, we're still the victim. But we got to face some truths because in order to step out of that victim mentality, all facts got us. Come on, Empress. In order for us to step out of that victim mentality, we got to come to a place that want to deal with the truth. Because truth directs change. And the reason why I want to keep playing that violin is because you know what? That being victimized is all I know. And if you settle to be the victim, you're saying you're not enough. Do you hear me, King and Queens? If you settle to be that victim and you settle to play that violin, you are saying that you are not enough. I'm not enough to be treated right. I'm not enough to be loved right. I'm not enough to get better than what I've been dealt. Come on, the Dom. The longer we play that song and that victim mentality is the more and more that we lose our self-value. And the more and more we lose our self-worth. And as we lose that, I'm a survivor here by God's grace. Come on, Lauren. And when we lose that, we keep taking less than we deserve. And we wonder why we go through our whole life being the victim. I was it as a child. I'm in my relationships. My children victimize me. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Some of those are victimizing our victims themselves, right? Hurt people, hurt people. Come on, Carefree. Hey, gorgeous. I love you. Thank you, love. Say it. Hurt people, hurt people. That's what I'm talking about. When I come to a place, I could cry about being the victim when I was a child, but at the end of the day, because I'm mature now, I understand that the reason why my mother hurt me was because she was hurt. Come through, beautiful. Yes, queen. Thank you, Carefree. She hurt me because she was hurt. She hurt me because she didn't have self-love. She hurt me because she depended on people to get love from them and not from herself. Come on now. I recognize that my mother, you know, the abuse that my mother put upon me when I was a child that was due to me having a relationship with my father and looking like my father. I looked like the one that she hated, so she treated me that way instead of treating it to him that way. You know, I recognize that it had to do with the lack of self-love that it came from her. the lack of understanding, you know. As a child, couldn't recognize it, but I recognize it after. When we are no longer the victim, we must face fear. Lack thereof. Come on, CEO. In order for us to get to a place to not be the victim anymore, we gotta face the fear. You know what the fear is? But what is the fear, Candy? Why do we want to keep playing the violin? The fear is that when we face truth, it brings change. I can't sit here and not do nothing with my life and keep saying, woe is me. When that violin is broken, I gotta move. I gotta do something about it. Right, being alone. Come on. Being alone or facing the fact that you're more than enough. We've been taught our whole lives that we're not enough. And then when something new comes along and say, Queen, you know you're extraordinary. What do you mean? You know what I've been through? No, King. You know you're one in all the world. There's no one like you. That makes you extraordinary because you have been made different than anything in this world. You're extraordinary. And for us to start taking in this mental is hard for us because it's this truth. It starts bringing change to say, you know what? I do deserve more. You know what? I didn't deserve to be victimized. You know what? I didn't deserve it so much, so I ain't gonna let it happen again. You see, when we start recognizing our value and our worth, things start changing. It causes me to stand up and face the fear, the false evidence appearing real. What's the false evidence, Candy? The false evidence is that you deserved it. The false evidence is that you should have went through it. No, you didn't deserve it. And we experienced it off of people's choices that was wrong. Not because it was who we are. We have to break the violin, and you know what happens with that violin is throughout the generations of hurt from our family members, that violin is passed down like a family heirloom. And I'm speaking by experience. My great-great-grandmother was abused and she played the violin, and my grandmother was abused and she played the violin, and my mother was abused and she played the violin, and they wanted to pass that damn violin to me. But you know, at 17 years old, I got out of my house as fast as, come on, Kizzo, I got out of my house as fast as I can. At 17, I got my own apartment. I was gone because I refused to play that violin, because I understand we got this life, and this life that is so amazing that we get to have our own choices. And I choose not to be the victim. I see my worth. I see my value. And it wasn't just me, generational curses, come on, Slay. And it wasn't just me doing it, it was the Most High. I didn't stop myself from committing suicide at the age of 14. That was the Most High. He loved me when I didn't love myself. He loved me when I felt like I didn't even deserve to breathe. That part. But recognizing, come on, thank you, Lori, come through, Queen. And that's what I'm talking about. So when I got up, I decided to not be the victim anymore. Because I seen misery in my great-great-grandmother's life. I seen misery, come on, the Dom, in my grandmother's life still. I see misery in my mother's life still. And I decided to be different. That part, I can't be a victim when he lives in me. I gotta be a victor. I can't play the violin and not finish the story, my king and queens. Because it ends somewhere. I'm living, I'm breathing, I survived that thing that they victimized me with. I could speak about it. I could speak about the child abuse. I could speak about the things that happened to me. I could talk about the greater. I could talk about overcoming. I could talk about conquering that mountain. Being better. Yeah, but I was victimized, Candy, and I'm still in the same part of my life. I didn't, it's not better. I didn't go in. It is better because you survived it. If you could talk about you being out, you're a survivor. That means you're a victor. You lived through something and you got out. We stay with this victim mentality because all we think of is the story and not the end. And the end is I survived some things. And everything is, come on. Everything isn't always peaches and cream, but I got out. I lived to talk about it. I could tell you about what happened to me. I could talk about my experience. I've been through some things, and I'm a survivor. I can't play the victim anymore because I could talk about what I've been through. Now, that means I survived some things. We come to a place that we can't play the victim even if we have rights to. And I'm going to talk about that and break it down just a little bit. You know, I can play that violin because I was abused as a child. Let's be real with it. I can play that violin because I was physically abused in my relationship. I can play that violin because I did feel abandoned. Or my mother left me, or my father left you. I can play that violin when I was molested as a child. I can play that violin when my father decided to make me use drugs at the age of 12. I'm giving scenarios of the reasons why we could play violins. I'm thinking of people in my life that can sit there and have rights to play the violin. My father beat me until I was in ICU. I have rights to play this violin. I have rights to talk about me being a victim. You got to step out of that victim mentality even when you have rights to, king and queen. Because it allows and puts us in a place where it makes them win. The more we keep our victim mentalities, the more we keep our low spirits. The more and more we lose hope to the very thing that was promised to us. Come on, Kelsley. Come on, love. That's what I'm talking about. No, if I keep this mentality, I could talk about what I went through, but if I keep this mentality, even if I have rights to say it, even if I have rights because it was wrong, even if it was out of my control to talk about it, I can't keep this mentality because it's going to keep me low. It's going to keep me exactly where they want me to be. To not achieve my destiny, to not walk in my purpose, to not fulfill the promises over my life. My life is worth more to me than what I've been victimized in. I'm so much more than that violin. I'm so much more than this experience. I know my value and I know my worth and I know who I am. I will not let this experience be my identity anymore. I'm not going to walk around saying, oh, I've been abused so abusers could come to me. The more and more we put this energy out, that's the same energy that comes back. Why do we see the pattern? Why did my great-great-grandmother's husband abuse her, physically abuse her? Why did my grandfather abuse my grandmother? Why did my father abuse my mother? Why did in me, in my grown relationship, a man put his hands on me? Why? Because it's a pattern. And the moment that we start recognizing we're more, we cut that thing at the root. We pull out those curses, generational curses that we see over and over again. No, not today. Not Candy. You got my mom, you got my grandma, you got my great-great-grandma. You might have got my great-great-great-grandmother, but it stops here. I sure enough left that relationship in a drop of a dime. No, I ain't staying. No, you don't love me if you hitting me, honey. I seen it my whole life as a child. Come on, Kizzo. Miss Vibes, hey, love. I seen it my whole life as a child. That ain't love. We've been taught the wrong things. Yeah, I did see it. I did believe love had to deal with physical abuse. Because that's what happens. I love you, I hit you, and then but I love you. And that's what we believe love is. These little low, horrible standards of love that we've been taught. It's broken now. Come on now. Santiago. It sure is broken now. Come on, Slay Queen. Come on, Vibes. No. I see that thing and I go, I dare you to try to pass me that violin. I'm stronger than that. We waste all our energy playing the violin. We wonder why we can't live. And I'm talking about go through the hard things in life, honey, because you're directing all your energy in something that was. You're directing all your energy in something that was, so much so it's called the law of attraction. We put this in the atmosphere and it draws back to us. Smart, hey, love. Thank you, King. Grand evening to you, love. The law of attraction, the energy that we put out is the energy we get back. So more time I talk about being the victim, the more I'm drawing victimizers to me. The more I'm drawing people to hurt me. Because it's saying victim, the victim is me. And they look for it. It's like prey. They see that you're hurt. You see that you're broken. They see they could take advantage. Because you keep talking about it. You must believe it. We've been victimized so much we believe that that's what we deserve. That's why we fall into the traps all over again. That's why we attach to these toxic relationships, because the toxic relationship is 5% good, and I ain't used to having any percent good, so that 5% is enough. You know how deep that is? How do we get into these? The devil is a lie. You better say that again. How do we get into these toxic relationships, Annie Marie? How does that happen? It happens because we just get a little bit of what we deserve, just a little bit, and we feel like that's all we need. That's all we should have. That's all we deserve. And we stay in these toxic relationships that got 5% good in it, but honey, you ain't worth 5%. I'm telling you now. You ain't worth 10. You ain't worth 20. You ain't worth 9.999. You ain't even worth that. You're worth 100%. 100% of every promise spoken over your life. 100% of every purpose that you're supposed to fulfill in this lifetime. You are worth the destiny that has been spoken for you by your Father, the Most High. That's what you're worth. Don't settle for anything less. Stop being the victim. Come to a place to recognize your worth and your abilities and who you are and how amazing you are and how extraordinary you are. Stop using your energy and playing the violin and playing the victim. That's why we can't get through nothing. That's why it feels like life is so hard, King. That's why it feels like life is so hard, Queen. Because you're using all your energy in something that is empty. There's no substance there. You're using all your energy in playing that damn violin. Come on, 100% the Dom. So when you deal with the trials and tribulations that come in this life to help us grow, we don't got energy for it. So it always feels like I'm down. And it always feels like I'm being kicked when I'm down. And it always feels like life is a struggle. But I'm calling you, King and Queens, to redirect your energy into your divinity. Redirect your energy into your purpose and your promise and who you are. This camera is like, it gets so annoying because it doesn't. Thank you, love. Redirect your energy into who you're supposed to be. Don't put your energy in this victimizing no more. And don't put your energy into stop labeling yourself as the victim. That's why you're getting everything that you got now, honey. You don't even recognize it, but you got a big sticker on your chest that say, "Hello, my name is victim." You don't even recognize that your language is of a victim. You don't recognize that you have a victim mentality. You take less than you deserve because of all that you've been through, and we got to start getting to a place to start facing some truths. We got to get to a place to start building our self-love, recognizing our value, recognizing our worth, keeping that relationship with the Most High. The more I have a relationship and the one that believes that I'm perfect, that knows I'm perfect, the one that loves me and when I don't love myself, the more that I have a relationship with him is the more that I see myself through his eyes. And the more I see myself through his eyes, I see my value. And the more I see myself through his eyes, I see my worth. And the more I see myself through his eyes, I see that I deserve it. Why would he fight tooth and nail for me to have this beautiful destiny and I don't deserve it? He is not a man that he should lie. He is the greatest being in existence, and he is your father. So he only wants the best for you. And he's ready. Are you? We can never be in a place to be ready for all that he has planned for our life with this victim mentality. Because every blessing that he'll release to us, somebody will snatch from us. Come on, Elevated. Every blessing released, somebody will snatch that thing from us. We can't be the victim and expect the world. We can't be the victim and expect the destiny. Right? Yes, that part of the Dom. That's what I'm talking about. We can't do it. We have to come to a place. Come on now, King and Queens. We have to come to a place to recognize who we are and whose we are. Ain't nobody understand how much you are. Come on, Santiago. Come on, Elevated. Come on, the Dom. No one understands what you've been through like he does. No one understands how you've been victimized like he does. No one. Remember, the battle is his. Stop playing the violin. Give up your violin. Change your mentality. I don't need to fight anymore. I had to let people know that I was victimized when I didn't have the strength, when I didn't have the energy, when I didn't have the will, when I was too young. But now I have the power, and because I have the power, I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let go of every victim mentality. I'm gonna walk in all that he has called for my life.